Hey everybody, so this is Spanish lesson episode 2, número 2, ¿verdad? Entonces vamos a empezar. Let's start. So we're gonna just go ahead and learn some more simple phrases to just ease on into the beginner level, like, you know, getting yourself familiarized with it. Poco a poco, little by little, you'll be able to get it and familiarize yourself with more Spanish. So how do you say, ¿cómo se dice gracias? I mean, thank you. It's gracias. So that's how you say thank you. And if you want to say de nada, I mean, oh my gosh, I'm speaking. If you want to say you're welcome, you could say de nada. Or you can say con gusto or con mucho gusto. Now, de nada means, basically it means like it was nothing. Or like, you know, like no big deal, like it was nothing. Because nada means nothing, right? And todo, if you watched the last video, you learned that todo means everything, like all. And so con gusto, which is another way of saying kind of you're welcome, but it translates literally to with pleasure. So con means with, and then gusto means pleasure. So if you say con mucho gusto, that means with a lot of pleasure. Like if someone's like, thank you, gracias, you can say con mucho gusto, like I'm happy to help. So moving on, how do you say yes and no? Sí, y, no. And e, that y, that means and. So that's something I'll just I guess briefly segue into the alphabet and how the Spanish alphabet works, right? So I'll just put a chart of like the alphabet right here. Now if you look at these alphabets, you'll notice that there's a few extra letters, like the N, which has the ñ sign like on top. That just means like it's pronounced like an NY was squished together, and it's like ñ, like Funyuns, So it's like, yeah, it was as if Funyuns is spelled like this. But that N with the thing on it, it's always going to be pronounced ñ. You got to add that Y to it. And then you also have the double L's, which basically makes a Y sound. For example, la silla. It's two L's. And if you notice in my pronunciation, I kind of add a J sound, but that's only because I learned a lot of Spanish in Latin America, in like Central America, and they tend to use the J, and they do that in Cuba too as well. But it's like Silla, like what other words have like the J sound? I don't know, or like anillo, or like, you know, anillos, ring, but basically, like the double L makes a Y sound, but that Y sound is sometimes pronounced like a J, but it's not like it's not like Silla. It's not gonna be Silla, but it's like Silla, la silla. It's very subtle. But if you don't have to add that J yet. That's something that just kind of comes on as, you know, you're talking. It's like if an English speaker or a non-native English speaker is learning English, they're not gonna come right out the boat saying, what you doing? No, they're gonna say, what are you doing? You know, so it's the nuances of how to speak and how to sound more, you know, fluent. It comes naturally and gradually, just as you speak it more in conversation with actual people. So don't mind the J. You could just pronounce the double L like a Y. La silla, perfectly fine. People will know what you're saying. Or pantalla. I think that's how you say screen. Pantalla. I'm pretty sure that's how you say screen. Pantalla. And or like bella, like beautiful, with two L's. Bella. Bella. Like you'll hear it's pronounced like bella, like bella. But it can also be pronounced bella. So and then what else do we have? That's pretty much it. But another thing I want to add about the Spanish alphabet, which is so clutch, and one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite languages, even though I don't know that many languages in general, is because every single letter in the alphabet is always going to sound the same. Let me say that again. Every letter of the alphabet is going to hold the same pronunciation and sound, no matter which word you see it in. For example, if we take the word manzana, apple, if you look at that word, every single A sounds the same. If you take, like I said, la silla, if you notice, the A sound is always going to sound like cabello, cabello, hair, cabello. La puerta, door, la puerta, la pared, la pa. Like, it's the A is always going to sound like that. The B, of course, is always going to sound like the B. The E, it's really the vowels that you want to know. Because in English, your vowels will be changing. Honey, you'll have alien. You'll have apple. You'll have orange. Like, how does the E in orange, the A in orange sound like an E? Like, in English, and then you have the combination of A's. Like, you'll have, like, how do you spell straight, guys? How do you spell straight? Like, it's A-I-G-H-T. If straight was a Spanish word, it would be pronounced straight. You know, because every letter is always going to be very consistent. So that's something that's going to help you a lot with reading Spanish. Because let me go get okay, I'm not going to do the most right now. I'll probably do the most in the next video. But básicamente, what I want you to see is that every sound is going to sound the same. So let's go over the most important ones, which are the A, which is pronounced how? How is it pronounced? Ah. Right, always going to be pronounced ah. What about the E? How's the E? Eh. Like, teléfono. Teléfono. So, A-E-I. So, how's the I? This is I in sign language. But how's the I pronounced? This is A in sign language. A-E-I. So, how's the I pronounced? The I is pronounced like an E. It seems confusing at first, but I mean, it's still simple. Like, at least you know that the I is always going to be pronounced like an E. Por ejemplo, again, la silla, right? La silla. That I is going to be, it's going to sound like a long E in English. That's what that sound is called, like a long E. So the O is pronounced exactly how the letter sounds. It's O. So it's always going to be a long O, okay? It'll never be ah. Because the ah is what letter? The A. It's the A. The ah sound is the A, okay? Manzana, right? Manzana. So the O is always going to be a long O. Like, por ejemplo. Por ejemplo. Not par. Not por ejemplo. Or por ejemplo. It's going to be por ejemplo. And then so you have A, E, I, O, and then you have the U. Now the U is pronounced like oo, right? So like glue in English. So it's like oo. So papusa, that's not Spanish. Okay, burrito. Boo. Perfect. Like burrito. In English, we say burrito because the U can sound like a right? But in Spanish, it's going to be burrito, okay? Burrito. It's always going to be a long U. So I think you pretty much get the concept of that. So just to finish off this video, where we at? 9-10 minutes? Okay, cool. I hope that's not overloading y'all. But just in case, we're going to just cut the video right there. Keep it short and sweet. And just study this. Like, make sure you have it. Rewrite it down. Make sure you say it as I'm saying it. And when you practice reading, just remember that the sound is always going to be the same. You don't have to be tripped up over how to pronounce it because it's going to be self-explanatory once you know what each letter is going to always sound like. Like, reading Spanish to me is so easy because you just know it's predictable. Like, you just know. Like, no, even if the word is long, just take your time and sound it all out. It's always going to be the same. There's no like surprise words or anything like that. There's surprise conjugations. Now, don't get me wrong. Spanish does have its like twists and turns that you're like, wait, what? Why is this the rule? But in different languages, when you're learning different languages, sometimes the rule is just the rule, and you just want to, like, it just is what it is, So that's that video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know. Comment down below. Do you have any requests? Like, is there anything specifically you would like to learn? I would love to help y'all out with this, because I have this content in my head, obviously, and I want to share it because, you know, God gives you talent, so you want to, you know, be a good steward over what your talents and skills and specialties are and whatnot. So, yeah, stay blessed, everybody. Like this video, share it with people, and comment, subscribe. Okay, peace.